Hitters, setters, and diggers, oh my. High school volleyball season has arrived and we're excited to continue our coverage in both North and South Dakota. My name is Jody Norstedt, and over the next half hour we'll give you a glimpse of what to expect on both sides of the border this season. From top teams to top players, we have you covered. My co-host Jason Andera is the expert on all things South Dakota. Jandy, what do you have coming up later in the show?
Thanks, Jody. Well, we'll have a look at not just one of the best players in the state, not one of the best players in the country, but one of the best players in the world, and she lives right here in South Dakota. Plus, a preview of all those top teams in Class AA, A, and B. I can't wait to get started.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Jandy. South Dakota has certainly been churning out some great talent these last few years, and the same can be said for North Dakota. Tons of players getting the opportunity to play at the next level. Bismarck High senior Payton Foster will likely get a shot at that path following her high school days. The All-State selection has recorded over 1,300 assists and 500 digs in her career. With the departure of a large senior class, Foster will be surrounded by a lot of fresh faces, but she's eager to help lead this group into what looks to be a promising year. In the sport of volleyball, hitters garner a lot of the oohs and ahs from the crowd. But for Bismarck senior setter Payton Foster, the behind-the-scenes work has become a labor of love.
I think defense, you need to play defense first, so then you help your team out, and then just being fast to the ball, fast feet, getting your hands up, and then just focusing on squaring up to your target, and then just putting up a great ball for them.
Foster had the luxury of setting the table for a lot of seniors last season. Now she's turning the page and leading a younger group, a role that she's embracing.
I was a captain last year, and I think just being positive with everyone and then keeping everyone excited, motivated. If you make a mistake, just shake it off. You got the next one.
She's been playing varsity for us since she was a freshman, so she's got lots of experience. She's confident on the court and she runs it. The girls trust her and she takes that leadership.
Another strength for Foster is serving. Last year, she was one of only 2 players in the WDA to average over 2 aces per match.
She's very good at reading the court on the other side and knowing where to put the ball. She does spot serving a lot, and yeah, she picks on the weakness and she mixes it up. She doesn't always serve short or always serve deep. She mixes it up.
I did focus on just having a strong contact, keeping my height of my toss consistent, and then just going in and just hitting it.
Making it sound easy while she continues to make it look easy on the court. Foster and the Demons open the year with the Bismarck crossover on August 26th. As you can expect, she's on our top seniors to watch list for the season, a list that is brutally hard to put together every year, by the way. Thanks to all the coaches for their help with it. Here's a look at the Midco Sports top 10 sorted alphabetically. Claire Bauman from Century is coming off a terrific junior season in which she earned all-conference and all-tournament team at state. Bauman is tough to deal with as a middle hitter. Returning all-EDC performer Regan Bogenreef is a talented 6-rotation player for Cheyenne. She finished her season strong by recording double-digit kills in all 3 matches at state. South is a team to watch out for. 6-foot senior middle Emma Dalby has racked up over 600 kills in her varsity career. Dalby is a threat from pin to pin and is one of just 2 returning players who made first-team All-State last year. 5'11" junior McKendra Messer averaged 7 kills per set a year ago for St. Mary's and led the team in blocks and digs. Jamestown always turns out top players. Bernadette Newman looks to be the next in line after cranking out 276 kills in an all-conference campaign a year ago. Back-to-back first-team All-State selections, returning Gatorade Player of the Year in the state. Yeah, I think Logan Nisley is going to make this list. She's going to miss a good chunk of the season after having surgery on both her feet during the offseason, but she put up numbers you rarely see in high school volleyball as a junior. Over 350 digs and 350 kills with a kill percentage of .370. Dickinson's Kaiten Piercy led the WDA with over 14 kills per match last year. She should have similar production this year for the Midgets. West Fargo returns stability at the setter spot with Olivia Soini, who averaged 11 assists per set during the state tournament. And back to Cheyenne, Kaylee Wasdorp is coming off an all-state season as a junior. If she gets into a hitting rhythm, look out. Moving over to Class B, our list begins with a young lady that has been part of a dominant team the last few seasons. Linton HMB, remember, graduated some outstanding players like Senior Athlete of the Year, J.C. Richter, and fellow All-State pick Tegan Scher. But four-year starter Shaylee Bosch is back with over 600 kills and 120 blocks in her career. Her explosiveness will help make her one of the top middle hitters in Class B this season. Glen Ullin Hebron's Taylor Christensen can light up a stat sheet. She's good for about 12-plus kills a night. Northern Cass's Hallie Crockett knows how to take over a game. Now with Emma Lucas off to Valley City State, more pressure rests on the shoulders of Crockett, who finished with over 300 kills and 400 digs last year. Standout volleyball players seem to grow on trees in Thompson. 6-foot middle hitter Summer Haig topped 400 kills as a junior. Returning All-State pick Carly Klein from Garrison, remember her? She put the Troopers on her back last year and led them to their first state tournament in program history. She swatted 374 kills on a .316 hitting percentage. Ellie Powell from Bowman County is coming off an all-region year where she recorded 330 kills and 87 blocks, and she makes the most of her chances too with a .361 hitting percentage. Central Cass could honestly have about 5 players on this list. Tori Richter is a fine representative though. The senior libero doesn't let much hit the floor. She had 600 digs last year. Kenmare has a couple of returning All-State players. Brenna Strokeland erupted for 484 kills, 286 digs, 57 aces, and 92 blocks a year ago. She's versatile and she's relentless. Richland's Megan Tazarek had a breakout year last season, smashing 298 kills, putting up 124 blocks and 51 aces. Back to Kenmare, we talked about Strokeland. Kate Zimmer is another returning All-State player. Zimmer finished with 873 assists last year with 200 digs and 60 aces. An ACL injury had her laid up for a bit, but she should be ready to go for the start of the season. We go from the individuals to the teams. Coming up next, our top 5 for both Class A and Class B in North Dakota high school volleyball. Welcome back to Midco Sports' high school volleyball preview show. It's time to reveal my preseason top 5 for each class, and let's start with Class A. And no, I'm not going to make a stunning pick. Bismarck Century is once again the team to beat. Here's an interesting nugget for you though. There will be players on the Patriots roster this year that were just conquering potty training the last time there was a state championship game without Bismarck Century. That was 2004. The other good nugget, the Patriots have won 6 of the last 7 state titles, including back-to-back crowns. Century did graduate 8 seniors, and they'll be without reigning Gatorade Player of the Year Logan Nisley for a significant chunk of time as she recovers from off-season foot surgery. But this program is deep. The sophomore and JV teams both went undefeated last year. I expect them to be at the top again this season. But don't be surprised if rival Bismarck gives them all sorts of fits. The Demons finished runner-up last year to the Patriots and return All-State setter Payton Foster and strong frontliners Brooke Curtis and Taylor Anderson. The Demons did beat the Patriots twice last year, including once in a regular season tournament. Cheyenne checks in at number 3. The Mustangs return a ton of talent from their junior class, headlined by all EDC picks Kaylee Wasdorp and Regan Bogenreef. Head coach Leah Newton believes her team is ready to take that next step.
We have girls that can put the ball away in every position, so it's really great. We can spread the ball around. We can look at giving people the ball that are on, and maybe somebody's off on a certain day. We can rely on so many other girls, so it just makes it tough for other teams to game plan against us when you can't just focus on 1 or 2 kids.
Jamestown snapped a 5-year streak of making the state tournament last year, and that hasn't sat well with head coach Sarah Hagerly and her program. The Blue Jays have been pushing themselves to get better, and they'll be looking to leaders like Bernadette Newman and Haley Hawkinson early to light a fire under them offensively. Rounding out my top 5 is a surprise team. Fargo South hasn't qualified for state since 2014, but I think that streak comes to an end. The Bruins return one of the state's top weapons in Emma Dalby and has a ton of experience surrounding her. If they can build some confidence early in the season, they can compete with anybody. Turning the page to Class B, Northern Cass enters as the top dog. The Jaguars were state runner-up last year and returned some powerful hitters like senior Hallie Crockett and junior Josie Jensen. Head coach Angie Johnson says her squad has high expectations entering this fall.
We have a lot of determination and grit right now just to get back to that state tournament and that state championship and finish what we could have done last year. So I think that's just a huge goal for us.
Obviously we lost a lot of talent last year, but we have younger girls stepping up that have never played varsity before, and they're doing a great job. And we've really been working on our chemistry and just building our team bonding over the summer.
Coming off a semifinal appearance, I have Thompson at number 2. Summer Haig is poised for another dominant year. Head coach Lisa Strand always seems to get the best out of her players late in the season. And will it be an 8th consecutive trip to state for Langdon Edmore Munich? I think so. It'll be interesting to see how this team comes together. I have them at number 3. Junior Cora Bating missed all of last year with an ACL injury, but had 200 kills as an 8th and 9th grader. With quite a few new pieces, team chemistry will be critical. We have another Region 1 team sitting at 4 with Central Cass. The Squirrels have a long list of returning starters, including standout libero Tori Richter and big-time blocker DeConte Smith. This senior group has played in a ton of big games in various sports. Kenmare is number 5 with its pair of returning all-state players. Kate Zimmer and Brenna Strokeland are as good as it gets at their respective positions. The Honkers took Northern Cass to 5 sets in the semis last year. That's a wrap for North Dakota. It's time to serve it over the border to South Dakota. Jason Andera is in next with players to watch, team rankings, and much more. You're watching High School Preview Night on Midco Sports.
This high school preview show on Midco Sports is presented by Farmers Union Insurance, Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, Northwest Tire, Bank of North Dakota, and Bismarck State College.
Welcome back to our high school volleyball preview show. Before we get into the teams and players to watch, we have a feature on one of the top players I've ever seen. She's won every award, earned every accolade, and led her team to back-to-back state titles. And we have the absolute privilege of watching her play high school volleyball one more season. Of course, we're talking about Bergen Reilly, the setter and attacker at O'Gorman High School in Sioux Falls. And this summer, she spent time competing with the best 18-year-old volleyball players in the world. And I went along to see how she did.
Reilly's decorated volleyball career continues to build. She's been named the Gatorade Player of the Year twice in South Dakota, has secured 2 state championships, been named to the U18 Team USA, and won bronze at the 2021 World Championships. And this summer, she tried out for Team USA again. Just 13 individuals were selected for the U19 Team USA girls volleyball team, and she not only was chosen to the team, she was named the starting setter. Head coach Jamie Morrison talked about what he looked for in a setter for the team.
You're looking for someone that can run an offense. You're looking for someone that can connect to the people around them. And for me, I'm looking for someone that can be a rock, that is going to constantly be themselves. And I think she is all of those 3 things. She's able to locate for our hitters. She's good at playing the whole game. She's a good athlete. And above all, she connects with the people around her, both on the volleyball sense and from the team sense.
Reilly went on to lead her team at the Pan Am Cup in Tulsa. Team USA went 5-0 at the international event, and she loved competing for her country.
Yeah, it's really surreal. I mean, like, just hearing the national anthem while wearing a USA flag on your chest is just a different experience. And it's hard to explain, but it's so rewarding.
As Team USA went for gold in the elimination rounds, she led her team in assists and aces. After capturing gold, she was named the most outstanding setter and the MVP of the event.
It's unreal. I mean, like, a bronze medal felt good, but this feels better. And we're qualified for Worlds, and we can't wait for that next year.
Can't wait to see what she does this season before she enrolls at Nebraska this winter. Let's preview each of the 3 classes in South Dakota, and we'll start with the one that O'Gorman has won for the last 2 seasons. OG needed a big comeback in the championship finals, but that's exactly what they did. They were down 2-0 against Washington and then won the final 3 sets to claim back-to-back titles in Class AA. They graduated 5 seniors from that team, but returned Bergen Reilly, Brogan Beck, Brooke Harvison, Gabby Jones, and Michaela T. Hart, just to name a few. Washington came up just short last season, but as usual, they'll be locked and loaded for another deep playoff run.
A lot of experience back with the 3 or 4 that we had playing last year. But really, too, just the girls that are filling in those spots had big roles on our JV team and also had big roles in their club team as well. And seeing success, that was a big thing, last year with younger setter, younger right side, and Carly and Macy. There's kind of that fear of, are they going to be able to step into those big-time roles? And they get that experience in club, going to nationals, all that stuff. So they're not scared, they're not frightened, they're ready to come in and play and do well.
The Warriors bring back one of the top attackers in the state with Jocelyn Richardson on the outside and bring back their setter, Macy Malchow. Harrisburg had a young team last year. They're still young, but they bring back much more experience.
Yeah, we've got 4 seniors right now, and then we've got a junior, and the rest are made up of sophomores and freshmen. And just gaining experience this summer is going to play dividends. We just need to get together and play as a group. Our goal is to end up at the end of the season better than we started. This last year, we ended up with, 7th place. Not content with that, not happy with that. We want better, and the kids have worked their butts off in the off season to make that happen.
Jefferson just missed out on the state tournament last year, but they returned nearly everyone to the court this season.
Now I feel like we have so much depth, it's trying to get the right combinations together and what's going to best suit us. We just got so much length, and we've got a lot of tall girls that is really, really nice to have in volleyball, and now it's just a way to make sure we utilize the best of them.
State tournament participants Huron, Brandon Valley, Pierre, Watertown, Roosevelt, and Lincoln will all be competitive again this year. Let's look at some of the top players returning to Class AA this season. When we come back, we have much more on South Dakota volleyball. We'll take a closer look at Sioux Falls Christian. They've won 10 titles in the last 12 years, and we'll check out who is going to compete with them this season. Welcome back to the Volleyball Preview Show. I'm Jason Andera. In Class A, Sioux Falls Christian has won 10 state championships since 2010. Let that sink in. Each year, Darcy Wassenaar regroups, rebuilds, and dominates Class A. Last season, they defeated the Garrettson Blue Dragons in straight sets to win their 6th straight title.
Every year you lose a few, and you lose a few key players, and that has happened to us. But these next girls just really step up, and so it's fun to see them. These girls that now are seniors, they step into that leadership role so well, and so we're excited to see them do that. And these younger girls, they have another year of experience, and they're ready to go. And so it's just kind of getting them together, help them to gel and mesh and figure each other out.
This year, they start fresh once again. They bring back their setter in Addison Barber. She was thrown into the varsity lineup last year and passed with flying colors.
Yep, we have our setter back from last year, and like you said, she's young, but a great player, and so we're excited for her to be back.
Payton Popema, Sydney Ostra, and Ellie Lems got some court time last year, but this year they'll take a step up. Dakota Valley has been a fixture at the top of Class A as well. Last season, they had to push through several injuries and still made it to the state tournament.
So last year we were playing 5'6", 5'7" on the outsides, and this year we got some 5'11s. So, and that's huge defensively on the block. Our setter is a veteran, and she knows where to go, when to go. So put those two things together, and we should have a really great season.
The Panthers return 2 top attackers in Georgia Vandenhall and Sophie Tuttle, as well as their all-state setter, Logan Miller, who makes it all go. Garrettson is another contender to watch. Logan Bly, Kaylin Cook, and Lexi Garecki are all returned from a state runner-up team that challenged everyone in the class. Platte Geddes returned their top 4 attackers from last year, including Carly Vanderwerf and Cadence Van Zee. Plus their setter, Avery DeVries, is going to be delivering the ball this season. Del Rapids, Madison, Rapid City Christian, and Wagner could all be in contention this season. Let's take a look at some of the top talent from Class A. Last but not least, we'll take a look at Class B, where the competition is really heating up. Can Warner go back-to-back? Stay with us and find out.
This high school preview show on Midco Sports is presented by Avera Orthopedics, Modern Woodman of America, Austin Van Hove, North Dakota State College of Science, Outlaw Tarp Repair, and Tammy Lap Harris with Integra Realty Group.
Welcome back to High School Preview Night on Midco Sports. We have one more class of South Dakota High School volleyball to break down. It's Class B. In this class, it's been Warner or Northwestern claiming the titles in each of the last 6 seasons. Last year, it was Warner's turn. This year, they're the same team minus just 2 seniors lost to graduation. Kyra Markuson led the team in kills. Ava Nielsen was one of the best setters in the state, and Courtney Bjorgard led the team in digs. They're all part of an outstanding junior class in Warner. They will be challenged as usual, though, by Northwestern.
We've got 2 seniors right now, our senior setter and our senior outside, that are kind of leading the way with this team, and everybody else is super young. We've got 3 sophomores and 3 freshmen and 2 8th graders here, so we're super young, changing some diapers, but they're pretty athletic and they're just a really fun bunch of kids.
Chester area is always in the mix as well.
You know, we've got some exciting young players coming up, and hopefully are going to do some great things for the Lady Flyers. We're going to be young, but I think those young players are pretty talented. And so if we can get, you know, just some experience into them and some confidence into them and kind of give them their wings and let them fly, you know, we're going to hope for some great things out of those young Lady Flyers.
Coleman Egan, Faulkton, Burke, and Woolsey Wessington are just a few of the contenders that hope to compete with the top 2 teams in the class. Here's a look at the most outstanding players in Class B. Well, thanks for watching. We'll be following along with the top volleyball teams in both North and South Dakota all season long. For Jody Norstedt, I'm Jason Andera. We'll see you on the court.